Hi there. Hope you guys are doing really, really well. My name is Brian. I am your queer psychic bestie, and I have a reading for you today. This is going to be, I decided to change up my content yet again because I have Libra in my big three, so we're changing yet again. Libra and Scorpio. This is going to be, I'm going to start putting out monthly forecasts for all of the signs. So this is going to be a monthly forecast for June for Aries. We're going to go through all the fire signs first. The dog just entered my room. Please don't mind. So yeah, this is going to be a monthly look at June for Aries for you guys. If you're new here, if you've never seen me before, hello, welcome. I am pretty new to YouTube. I was primarily on TikTok before this. Not that y'all need my like background, but I was on TikTok before this, so it's a little weird for me to say like, if you like my content, subscribe. If you vibe with the way I read, consider subscribing, leaving a like on the video. Let me know if it resonates, but we're going to be getting into it. I'm going to be doing a Celtic cross for you guys for all of the signs, actually. We're not going to go super in-depth into the Celtic cross because otherwise you'd be here for an hour with me. But we're going to be really trying to look at what's going on for you guys in the month of June. But let's get all your cards out and then let's talk about it. Right away, the thing that came through before that I thought was, I feel like for someone, this is probably gonna be very specific, but like, if you find pennies laying around, like one of your signs, probably from someone on the other side or a guide, like a spirit guide, is pennies, like finding random pennies around your house or like when you're out, any of these sort of things. I feel like they're just letting you know that they're around and that they're with you. Okay, so let's dive in. Bottom of the deck is your challenge. We've got the 9 of Swords, the 7 of Cups, and the 10 of Cups. It feels like for a lot of you in June, I feel like you're going to be sitting with and digesting this idea of like, I don't really know how to be happy. It feels like this is not so much like a physical challenge, right? You know, when we talk about bottom of the deck, it's what we're not seeing, which is often emotional. But it feels like a lot of you are struggling in this arena of like, okay, 10 of Cups, 7 of Cups. You know, for a long time, I thought these things were going to make me happy. And now I'm realizing 9 of Swords, I'm a little anxious because they're not doing the job no more, you know? And I feel like some of you have the Emperor back here. This could be related to like a father wound for a lot of you. I mean, the Emperor is also the card of Aries, so you are kind of showing up. In your challenge isn't great because you're kind of in your own way, right? Because it's you in the challenge. Oh, and there goes my cat. So let's see if we could get you some answers. Let's get into this. You start with the 9 of Pentacles in your current energies. We love to see this. 9 of Pentacles for me is like single ladies. I use girly and ladies. These are like very gender neutral terms for me. This is obviously gender and energy have no place with one another. This is a very gender neutral, gender accepting space. Thus, Queer Witch Tarot. Anyway, I'm rambling. But it feels like with the 9 of Pentacles here, a lot of you are really sitting in, I almost want to say wealth. Like this could be physical wealth for some of you. Like you could be getting your money together. You could be getting your finances together. But this does involve an exit. For some of you, you could be kind of amassing some sort of, I almost want to call it like a safety net is what I'm seeing. Like, what are those people called? I want to call it a trapeze artist. I don't know if that's correct, but like the people, yeah, I think it's a trapeze artist and they like fall in circuses. That's what they're showing me. That's what my guides are showing me right now. A lot of you have this like safety net that I feel like is going for you. Yeah, I feel like a lot of what's coming through is don't be afraid to tap into the safety net. It feels like you're in a little bit of this like weird place right now where you have the safety net, but you don't want to use it. And I feel like in June, this might be a time for you to like actually have to tap into it a little bit. Yeah, 2 of Swords, decision making. Because this is one of those moments where I feel like, this is the Eva Tarot, by the way. This is one of those moments where I feel like if you want to get something new, you have to let go of something. Ooh, the Hermit. Okay. Come on, Virgo energy. But This is a very solitary decision. Oh, my voice just cracked. Okay, call that puberty too. This is a very solitary decision here. I feel like your guides are really urging you to maybe like listen to what other people are saying, but don't take it to heart. You know, like when people are giving you opinions and people are telling you what to do, ultimately at the end of the day, you have to follow your own truth and your own journey. So like, yeah, take their opinions, but don't base your decision off of it. Because this does, again, it really just keeps coming through as I have to leave my comfort zone and I have to tap into something that I really didn't want to tap into, but I have no other choice here. This is like I have to leave a job and there may be like 2-week periods before I start the new job that I have. Or like maybe you're a service provider and you're going out on your own here for the first time and you're like, okay, I'm a little scared. I have to get clients myself. I used to be a hairdresser. Maybe you're like hairdresser in the beauty industry. Like, when I left a salon to open up my salon suite, it wasn't just, oh, look at all these clients I have to work. No, it was like, I have to work for it now. I have to really put in the effort to get what I want. And I feel like that's where you guys are. The sun, exactly. The sun in your challenge, again, this is a lot of, the sun is the happiest card in the deck. And in the challenge, here you are again in June being like, the Aries are sitting here being like, okay, like I want to be happy, but what is it? What does happiness mean to me? In your headspace, you've got the King of Wands. We do love to see this. It does feel like you are very passionate about your life, is what I want to say here, which we absolutely all fucking should be, right? We have to be passionate about our lives and we have to be passionate about our decisions here. And it feels like that's what you're kind of, yeah, Ten of Pentacles and the High Priestess. That's where you're at, like on a spiritual level, on an emotional level. It feels like you're almost, this is such a funny way to say it. My guides are saying like, risk it for the biscuit. I haven't used that since I was like in high school, but it does feel like a moment for you of like, okay, if I want this type of happiness, this sustained sort of happiness, or if I even want to figure out what happiness means to me, I have to, Ten of Pentacles, High Priestess, I have to hunker down. I have to get to know myself better. And then I can decide where my passion is going to take me, right? Aries is a very passionate sign, but it can be a little bit of an argumentative sign, so be careful with that. I feel like some of you aren't arguing with other people. You're sort of arguing with yourself here. You're butting heads a little bit, okay? In your physical world is Queen of Pentacles. Some of you could be mothers. Queen of Pentacles is a mom card for me. So you could have children. You could be a mother here. So that might be taking up a lot of your like actual physical time in June. If you are a mother, is like being a mom. I said this in the collective in my Twitch last night, but I'm going to say it again because it's coming through. Good. How do I say it? Like, bad moms don't worry if they're bad moms. Like that's kind of how this is coming through. There's a lot of good moms in this collective that are worried that they are not good mothers. A bad mom isn't going to question it, right? So you need to start remembering that. Yeah, Queen of Cups, you're very emotionally available. You're very emotionally nurturing. It feels like you are breaking a lot of generational curses in June as well. Or you've already, I almost want to say like you've started and it's going to continue. You've got the Nine of Swords here, but you got to get out of your head, Aries, okay? You're overthinking a lot, which is not a very Aries thing in my opinion, but I am also not a professional astrologer, so don't come for me. But I don't feel like Aries is a very overthinky sign. You could have water in your chart as well with this Queen of Cups. Water tends to be overthinky. That I would know. I'm a Pisces sun and I'm a Scorpio moon. That's overthinking central. But it really does feel like you need to focus less on the overthinking and focus more on like where you're actually going moving forward. You've got Judgment here coming in from the past. I don't like this because I will tell you, I tell my collective this and I tell my clients this all the time. Judgment is the only card in the entire deck that speaks to past things coming back around. So this to me, especially in the past, you may have a revisit of someone from the past, but it's almost like a test is what I want to say here. This would be a moment of like, am I going to go back? This is, I always tell my collective, the world, am I going to stand my ground or am I going to go back? I always tell my collective, like, we don't drink poison because we're thirsty. Right? That's where this is. Your ex is an ex for a reason. You got to leave them there. Yeah, Page of Pentacles. It feels like you may have a return from someone in June that comes back being like, oh, I've changed. Things are different. I'm curious, though, because I am nosy. Have they changed? Okay. The Devil. No, they haven't. Okay? That's a very, very obvious answer to the question. They have not changed. Okay? You need to leave these crusty dusties in the past. You need to make sure that they stay where they are, because I feel like with your near future being the Three of Cups in reverse, in June, if you let this person back in, they are going to hurt you again. And I feel like that is coming through really loud. You have the fucking Tower on the bottom of the deck. I can't make it up. You, Aries, be very careful here. Do not let crusty, dusty musties back into your life. Can I get a little bit more about this Three of Cups, please? Yeah. Empress in the reverse. This could be the father of the children for some of you. 10 of Wands, 3 of Pentacles. Babe. Babe, what are we doing? If I could smack you over the head with these cards, I would. What are we actually doing here? Okay, why are we prepared to repeat cycles? That's how this is coming through, okay? Empress in the reverse, 10 of Wands, and the 3 of Pentacles. In June, I feel like this is really going to put your self-worth to the test, okay? That's like part of why this person is coming back around, to test whether or not your self-worth has improved. Will you fall for it? Will you go back into old cycles? Will you allow old, you know, patterns to perpetuate again? There goes my cat again. I told you he's a diva. It feels like this is coming in really heavy for you, Aries, in June. This is a very big moment of like, okay, I'm putting my self-worth to the test, you know? The way I'm hearing it, like the way my guides are giving this to me is like, a lot of you have been saying like, oh, I've learned, I'm learning, I've learned, or I've learned my lesson. And so it's almost like your guides are telling you, okay, put your money where your mouth is. Have you learned your lesson? Okay, show it, prove it to me. And I feel like that's where you are. Obviously, this is not comfortable, you know, your self-view right now, 10 of Wands. This is not a comfortable place to be. We don't love being tested. We don't love being uncomfortable. But the only way we're going to grow is if we get comfortable with being uncomfortable, okay? I just heard really loud. I don't know who this is for. You have to stop seeing everything as an attack. There's like defensiveness here. Can my cat get fucking comfortable, please? Yeah, 9 of Cups. Why? Hold on. Be careful also, some of you, with overindulgence. I'm hearing that. 9 of Cups can be like a little bit, the way I'm going to say this is like friends with the bottle. So just be careful with that. Yeah, the Star, the 9 of Cups, and the Lovers. Oh, okay. I'm going to say something very mean that might trigger some of you. Nobody is coming to save you. We have to save ourselves. Okay? A lot of this energy that's coming in for June, the reason I feel like you're kind of on the struggle bus is because on some level you're waiting for a savior. You're waiting for someone to ride in on their horse with their sword swinging, fight all your battles and save you. No. Sometimes we have to play every single role. I tell my collective this all the time. Sometimes I am the maiden in distress, but I am also the king, and I am also the dragon, and I am also the knight in shining armor. We have to play every single role. Yes, it is exhausting. Yes, I feel you. Yes, I understand you. But also the very harsh reality of it, and you know I'm going to give it to you very, like, I almost said I'm going to give it to you straight. I'm going to give it to you gay. No one's coming to save you, babe. Okay? You got to save yourself. It's time. I just heard step up. I don't know if they're talking about the movie or they're literally telling you to step up. I'm not sure. Take that for what it resonates. Maybe you watched Step Up recently. You know, your superpower is the Page of Swords. You know, your superpower at this point is that thought process of like, okay, there's something better out there for me. You know, it feels like your superpower is knowing that this is not the end for you, but it feels like you're kind of downtrodden right now. Or like in June, you're gonna feel downtrodden from like responsibility. Yeah, we've got the 5 of Wands in the reverse, 10 of Cups, and Justice. Okay, this is a tough one, guys. I get it. I get that you want your happy ending really bad, but what you have to start digesting for yourself is that you are your own happy ending. I can't, my cat is so temperamental, it's so annoying, okay? This is like, I feel like a lot of you are thinking that your happiness can't start until you get to a certain point. Your happiness won't begin until you reach a certain threshold here, and that's part of the problem, because 5 of Wands in reverse is internal conflict. 10 of Cups, and then that Justice, again, like we talked about in the beginning, you don't know how to be happy. You got to start with just little things. You know, you got to start with just like figuring out here, being curious. Page of Swords is a curious card. You know, where is this going to take me? If let's say you're like, oh, I don't know, I'm really drawn to yarn. Okay, maybe we pick up a crochet needle. Maybe we'll watch a tutorial. We learn how to knit. You know, if you're interested in something, follow it. Okay? Because if you are your own happy ending, it also means that you are responsible for creating that happy ending, right? And that's where you're at here. You know, you're like, you know that you're responsible, but you don't know where to start. Just pick something up. What's the worst that happens? You decide you don't like to crochet? You don't like to knit? That's okay. You try again. Pick something up. You don't like it? Pick a new thing up. You don't like that one? Pick a third thing up. You get to keep trying. That's the fun part of being human, is that we get to kind of pick up all this shit that we want to do and decide what's right for us. Yeah, because your fear here is the Four of Cups. There's a little bit of a rejection wound here for you guys, Aries. And I feel like in June, you're going to have a little bit of a tough time tapping into your authenticity for fear of being like, the word I just heard was forgotten. So you may have like friends or like family around you right now that are, thank you. The way my guides are giving this to me is a little complicated. You're shedding them, because I heard just shedding and I was like, the family is shedding? And my guides are like, no, like they're shedding the family and the friends. This is just interpersonal connections, right? It feels like with that Four of Cups, you're in the process of shedding and letting go of people. Oh, I just got chopped in my throat. People, places, things. Throat chakra is going to be really important here for you. Speak your fucking truth. It's June. It's Pride Month. Come out of the closet. I'm just kidding. I don't think you're in the closet for a lot of you. I just wanted to make that joke. Yeah, King of Swords. I feel like this is a tough month for you. Knight of Wands, because you're really realizing who's permanent in your life and who's not. You know, this is a moment of like, okay, if you're not going to support me, you're gone. If you're not going to give to me, then you're gone too. You know, allow yourself the space to cut people out. Okay? That's where I feel like you're at right now. If they're not serving you, they're not meant to be around you. If you are trying to be authentic and people are like, ew, why are you doing that? That's not for you. That's not for me. That's not for you. That's not for anyone who's being authentic. I feel like you trigger people in your journey towards authenticity. And I know that personally, as a very authentic person, we trigger people when we are being authentic because other people can't be authentic. And that's where this friction, I feel like, is coming from in your interpersonal world. You're like, I need to be authentic. And other people are like, no, I don't like that version of you. Okay, so then leave. You know, that's where I feel like you are at, because your outcome here is the world. Babe, a new world is forming for you. But I tell my clients and my collective this all the time, and I'm going to tell you guys this too. Your new world will cost you your old. Okay? This is a very strong moment of like, if you want, you have to make space. Okay? If I always use the example of like a living room couch. If I want a new living room couch, and I order one and it arrives and I haven't gotten rid of my old living room couch, then where the fuck am I going to put the new one? I have to get rid of that old couch in order to bring in that new one. That's what I feel like you guys are learning here in June. You know, it just happens to also be Pride Month. You know, I feel like you are really understanding that not everyone is meant to follow you into the next journey here, into the next, like, phase of your life. Yeah, Nine of Wands, Queen of Swords, and don't let it make you prickly, babe. Okay? I feel like you are going to have a really big trauma response here. As like more people exit your life, you're going to get angrier and you're going to get pricklier. I love the Queen of Swords in this deck because look how fucking prickly and sharp she is. She's so porcupine. You know, and that is a Queen of Swords energy. She's our defender. You know, for a lot of people, the Queen of Swords comes in as that wall of defense. She comes in as the feminine of, you know, I really don't have any other word except for the protector. You know, when you think of a like very fierce feminine figure, Queen of Swords. You know, she's sharp with her tongue. She cuts with her words. She knows how to land a hit. You know, that's a very Queen of Swords energy. And for you guys, you're going to be in that energy because you're going to be triggered. I am really advising you very heavily to try to remain. I know this is easier said than done. I heard you. I literally didn't even get the sentence out. And you guys were like, well, that's really hard. I get it. Try to remain kind. In the face of this kind of adversity, in the face of people just exiting our life, try to remain kind. The thing that I always used to say when I would lose people in my life, you know, in the process, I've moved from New York to Pennsylvania, and I basically got rid of everyone I knew in New York. And in this process, you know, I really had to I kept telling myself, okay, well, I hope they find what they're looking for. That's it. That's it. I'm not angry. You know, was I angry? Yes, of course. But how you can circumvent that anger is realizing it's not you. You're not the problem here. By showing up authentically, you are actually solving a lot of problems for you. But also remember, the best thing you can do is wish them well, okay? Even if they're angry, even if they're mean to you, even if they're like, you know, I hope you fail miserably, I hope you find everything you're looking for. And that's it. You know, it's like a lot of you are learning that there are moments to take the high road, and then there are moments to maybe not take the high road. But this is one of those moments where we're going to be taking the high road. You know, it's one of those moments where we're going to really be like, okay, I don't need that type of negativity. People show their true colors, you know? So if you're showing up as yourself and other people are showing up as themselves, but their selves are negative, nasty, miserable, let it go. Let them go. And hope that they find what they're looking for, okay? I'm going to close this out with an oracle message for you guys for June. This is for Aries for June, please. The oracle deck I'm using is called the Angelarium. It's a tale of the fallen angels. Yes, yes, I love this for you. Okay, can I pick up the fucking card, please? So you got Armoros? I struggle to say some of the names in here. Don't come for me. But she's the angel of undoing. I feel like that's very fitting for what we talked about in this reading. I'm going to read the entry to you because whoever wrote this book, honestly, they killed it. Number is 57 for those of you that are into numerology. 57. Okay. Now is a time for building. A time for applying chisel to stone and beginning the uncomfortable process of letting inspiration find you. The challenge of the work might be obvious, but the alternative is always less desirable. Seek this work out. An uncarved boulder is waiting for you, and you'll recognize it as soon as you see it. Chances are you already know the challenge that awaits. Don't delay. All right, Aries, you guys have a very interesting June coming up. I wish you all the luck. You're going to do great. Just stay level-headed. If you would like to follow me on Twitch, I do stream 3 days a week on Twitch. We do a collective, and then we move into personals where you can like purchase a personal on live, and then we do it on live. I'm also going to be uploading the Twitch collectives onto YouTube because I got some requests for that. So I will be recording the collectives and then uploading them. But you can find me on Twitch under Princess Brian with 4 S's. It's also in my link tree, and everything is linked here on YouTube. But I will leave you all with this. I hope you guys have a very fabulous end of May and beginning of June, and I'll see you guys next time, okay? Bye!